As you all probably know by now, Salford City in League 2 is a Manchester-based club owned by the class of '92. Gary Neville, Nicky Butt, Ryan Giggs and Paul Scholes all took a big stake in the club to help them go up the leagues. And although they've actually done that, they had help from Valencia's owner, Pete Lim, putting loads of money in, but now he's took it out. Yes, Salford don't have the investment from the millionaire involved in the club, now leaving the class of '92 to fend for their own finances. So today they're going to hire me to replace Carl Robinson, as I'm going to take this once Sunday league team to the top of English football only using free agents. As yes people, here's the team we have lined up on screen. We have got to try and rebuild, and to be fair, it's not looking too bad. Cole Stockton, a veteran of League 1 and League 2. Ben Woodburn, once a wonder kid with Liverpool, scoring on his debut. On the bench, Tyrese Forner, I believe he's only a lone player. Edwards is a good one. There is so much talent in the squad. For League 2, as look at this, we should be getting promoted, but we can only sign free agents. Plus, there's a further twist. Two strict requirements. The first one, no Mexican players until we reach the Premier League because they're too easy to actually sign. And secondly, when we reach the UCL final, we've got to have 3 Manchester-based players signed as free agents. Now, they don't have to be City, United, I count Stockport and Bolton and the likes as only £1 million. You can tell Pete Lim's left the club. They used to have a lot more than that. They used to have money like Wrexham, like Stockport, but not anymore, as I'm going to ditch this formation straight away. With the talent we have, we should definitely be playing differently. And I think the 4-1-4-1 still has an element of League 2 to it. Not too attacking, but better than going solid defensively. We need to actually express ourselves, as I'm going to go tiki-taka, and I'm going to choose this as our starting 11. Adelucan on the right, backed up by Rob Edwards. This team is mental. Genuinely, the only thing we've got to watch out is our lone players, such as Negru, so we've got to try and maybe sign a centre-back, and maybe even a midfielder. Our best is on loan from Derby. And look how we've looked out, man. This is perfect. The regen free agent you get at the start of every save, because you do get one. You get a regen who goes to free agent who has some decent potential, and in our case, it's a centre mid. Just the position we needed, as welcome Lewis Grant. I have spotted an issue though that I'm going to bring up straight away. With Salford class as a big club still, yes, I know we're not spending on transfer fees, but the wages are quite high, especially for this level. A 5-year contract, but 9k a week for a youngster. Definitely going to be tricky, especially when we move up the leagues. But we can't be thinking that way. We've got to keep our Salford head on. And in the past, they've signed Premier League ex-centre-backs. The likes of Mavrapata, who they had last year in the team, and also James Chester, who's currently in our reserves. They've got a theme going, so welcome Dan and Marty. The only issue is that wage, 18k a week. In League 2, that is lethal, could literally kill some clubs and leaves us £37 left. The class of '92 was skinned. For now, anyway, but I don't think they'll be skint next year. If this amazing team we've already got for this League 2 level can go ahead and grab an instant promotion. And I'm excited to see where this team's got us, but one thing I didn't do straight away, I've had to wait until the end of the season for Ben Woodburn to go up a rating, being one of our wide players. That's very nice. He hasn't played. Same with Grant in the middle, but Amati a 73. He's gone to be one of the highest, and I'm only hoping that Oxford release this man Negru, because I'm desperate to actually sign him on a permanent. A brilliant partner for Amati, but then we've got another player we want to keep, Tyrese Forner, with 10 goals and 13 assists. Brilliant for this division. Same with Stockton, of course it was top, but then we've got a lot of players leaving, and I just thought I would let them all go. And yes, there is some decent players leaving, like Ashley and Watson, but it seems to me we don't need them. Look at that for Salford City. 2 free agents signed, and we've got promoted with 10 defeats. A lot of defeats to take, but that is a trophy, and we're going up. as one of our Manchester rivals, or to-be rivals, wins the FA Cup. Manchester City, as we were out in round 2 to Shrewsbury, and out in the first round of the Carabao, again on pens to Leeds. That trophy won by Man United, as look how difficult our BSM group was. We finished 3rd with Huddersfield and Birmingham both from the league above. As yes, on the whole, a very good season. We've got Woodburn, who should start playing. Grant and Marty, he's going to stick around next year. As hopefully you guys want to stick around, and the best way of telling me you do want to is hitting that like button and subscribing, as we want 50k. Yes, here we go. This is the best team that's currently available. Then again, we've got Tilt to leave, the goalkeeper Jones to leave. I'm gonna have to simulate a day to see what this squad actually looks like. As £6 million, and do we start thinking about ex-United players? Or City, Bolton, Stockport, whoever, as this is the situation. We're into the league above, and we are desperate to survive. As I've just simulated a day, and yes, we didn't have enough players. We've been given a few regens like Hooper and Willems. Oh my days, and this man Novak, right, he definitely should count as a free agent, because he can't obviously join us if he's not a free agent already. And he's our second best player at the club. He's Serbian, 18-year-old defender. Have we just had the biggest slice of luck, I mean, ever on this channel? I think we might have done, but you know what? I don't think so overall, actually, because we don't even have a bloody keeper. We lost every single one in that window. Release them all, as plus we don't have a centre-back, Garbut central, and we have gained a striker Morton, but we know that's not enough. Goalkeeper first, and we're going to go first choice, obviously. Dan Bentley was at Wolves as a backup, and he was quite good. Another ex-Premier League baller like Amati, but we're not done there. We've gone and signed a backup keeper, so 2 into the club now. Feel a lot more confident with that. We've got Bentley and Alistair. Perfect. And did any of those play for Manchester United? Checking the stats, no. So we're still on the search for 3 players who are based in Manchester, and I think I might have found a centre-back who is Manchester based, because he's literally just been at Stockport. Fraser Horsfall, who's only 28 years of age. Satisfies the objective, but doesn't really complete it, because will this man make the UCL final? I probably doubt that. And the team almost looks finished. I probably do need another central midfielder. And hey, this is one that ticks off the objective again, because Aaron Morley, the centre mid, actually comes from his release at Bolton. He's 25-year-old, so still does have a future in the game. If he reaches the UCL final or not, that's still up in the air. It'd be hard for him to actually do it, as this season, well, the rest of the money is going towards the contracts, as I'm going to take my time with this season. Yeah, we had contracts to sign up. I didn't want to go mental with signatures, as this is how our team's looking, a 75, a few 70 rated. With only 22 players at the club, I think we've done just fine. Everybody looks happy. Amati, Bentley, Novak, what a cheat code. To get him given for free has just been so pleasing to me, as that rhymed. And Morley, the new midfielder, scores the most. 20 goals for him. Stockton with 19 at 32-year-old. He could be the next player out of the club. As yeah, attackers are where we go next. As oh my days, we almost went to the championship, man. How will we finish 7th? That is 1 point off the playoffs, and when I do look at the statistics, it looks like goals against is our worst, but still, I want to score a lot more. I'll trust the defence for now, as Chelsea go and win the FA Cup. We actually reached round 4 and lost again on penalties to Oxford United. Sheffield United made the Carabao final, losing to Spurs 1-0, and we were out in round 2 to Cardiff, another team higher. Oh my days, and we lost in the final of the BSM trophy this year, making it to a finale with only a few free agent signings. So far isn't that bad, and I think this has to be a quick season, as yeah, it's told us where we need to sign, and we've basically got to just go and sign there. Yeah, spending season number 3 still at this level, and what is that? I know we don't need money, but 3 million, seriously? Right, Pete Lim leaving the club has definitely left a gap at the moment. Class of 92 don't have enough money, as we need to go and get a CDM. Also looking for a right midfielder, because Adelucan's been out of position, plus he's 30-year-old. and that's not going to settle with me. And as previously mentioned, Cole Stockton, he's a 32-year-old striker who did get a few goals, but I want someone who will get more goals. As one free agent in League One, I think would score a lot of goals, Marcus Asensio, but of course we can't afford him just yet. I actually think the 3 million we currently have at the moment wouldn't be enough for his contract. That shows the level we're at now. We've got to be more understanding, as this man is not ex-Manchester, but a very decent looking striker, Houch, the Argentinian, if I've actually said his name right, but then there's a 24-year-old. Or Francisco will just call him. He could do a job getting to the championship and potentially beyond, but then I'm not going to count on that. We've gone and picked him up as our new striker, but my days, even in League One, 20k on a player's wage? By far too much, as this man probably doesn't last long. But our build guard, I believe he played for Como? But I'll take him here with the Reds. He's like a Salford Eriksson, as maybe this is a little pit stop to actually stop signing first teamers. Still gonna look for a right mid, but maybe one who's left United. Or Stockport City, Wigan, Bolton, they all count as Manchester based. But we have found a United ex-player, Daniel Gore. Really need to get this one right. We haven't got much money left. Think he could switch to a right mid and plus could last to the final if we keep training him up and he lives up to his potential, and that is a big gain. So now we go into the season. A quick season passed us by, and don't tell me he's not been playing. We changed him to a right mid. It got his rating +2. Now he's having a bit of a stall. Same with Grant, our midfielder, and our striker, Bonfiglio, not being put in the starting 11 by the game. And could that cost us as our best player at the club? Surprised he's even grown that high. It's Daniel Amati. I wish he'd come from United, but of course he came from Leicester City as our top scorer again. Aaron Morley, the midfielder. Could he be the surprise package? He came from Bolton, a United-based club. We could take him to the UCL final, as speaking of Bolton, they won the league. We went and finished 5th, as Manchester City losing the FA Cup final, as we were out in round 2 to Bolton, Morley's ex-club, the club that won our league, and round 2 to Port Vale in the Carabao. This was won by City 2-1 over Chelsea this time, and we're not in the BSM final. That's won by Exeter City. We were out in the group stages, this time having a slightly easier group. Then again, I don't care. I don't want to be in that trophy once more. I want to get outside of this league as a 2-1 win over Peterborough. We're going to be facing Pompey. I believe they finished with 90 points, but it does not matter at all. Salford City grab promotion. The championship with Salford, I don't believe it. It feels like we've not signed many players. Midfielders, yes, and goalkeepers the most notable. Actually, looking at it right now, we've made a few signings, some older players, as maybe we need some younger ones. The only problem is they don't get played. Knock's not in the lineup yet. You can see the bench has been playing, and Morton got played last year, and I don't want him playing again. I'm not going to sell him because I don't want to sell players. I don't want to sell Bonfiglio. There's only £5 million, you know, and wages are gonna shoot up. Now we're in the championship, and I've just found one of the best free agents. I've had to single him out. Dazian Maeda. Now this man as a striker, if he actually gets played, could make a huge difference as the wages. Okay, he isn't demanding much, but maybe he's just an anomaly. I think other players will want more. He's come from Scotland, where wages aren't the highest, so welcome in, Maeda. I think he'll be a brilliant striker for us. Only 2 weeks to a change. I think that's going to increase his rating, as now we've got to increase our defenders, because at the moment I am not happy, and I'm still going to be unhappy despite finding this brilliant wonder kid, or who once was a wonder kid, Charlie Hughes, 23-year-old. The reason I'm unhappy with this is because he's actually ex-Wigan, but because he was at Hull latest, he doesn't count towards our Manchester players. Such a brilliant player released for free, as now our first team's taking some shape, as I think now we're into the championship, we've got to change our assignments. And no, I'm not talking tactic, I'm not talking getting coaches in, I'm talking looking for younger players and looking for Manchester-based ones, as I think Brazil's going to be a good shout for the youngsters we want to find first. Oh my days, and there's a lot of good players, not youngsters, but high-rated. Ferreira is a good one, and oh my days, Kante, the defender from Almeria. What a signing this could be. Sure, he's not Manchester-based, but him and Charlie Hughes in the defense has got me so hyped. I'm training Amati to be a midfielder. Sorry to a build guard, but this team we're crafting genuinely looks like a team I'd be lucky to have without even going the free agent route. I'd pay money to have this squad, and I'd pay money for this man's contract. Ayman Benarous, I've got no idea how he's been released. Another one into the club, and I apologise for going crazy right now, but I'm here to get a team promoted, as the next one up is Perry and G. Oh my days, and I've just looked out. I thought I'd check cams, because I couldn't find anything. In the centre mid position, and Nico O'Reilly. Again, I'll have to change his position, like Benarous. I don't know where they'll play, probably go out wide, but at least for now we've ticked our objective off. And these are the changes I've made. You can see Abdilgard, I didn't want him on the bench. As a CDM, I wanted a centre-back because we're in the championship. I've got to prioritise defenders. Sure, he won't play with the guys currently there, and Marty's gone to a CDM, which you guys already saw, and O'Reilly a left mid. I do think he'll challenge Woodburn, who I need to flick over to. Here he is, 76 rated, so Ben Woodburn's come on this journey, but will he last it? I don't think so, as the other player we need to change. Benarous also to a left mid, so there's a lot of competition on that left-hand side as well. This team's been a little strange. Not rating-wise, I'm loving it. You can see Maeda is 81. At 30, that's brilliant for the championship and this defence. Or our centre-back and left back, they are brilliant and designed for the future. Perry and G and Dan Bentley, I'm a little bit shaky on as our two best players. Yes, they are brilliant, Amati and Maeda, but they're both over 30. Age an issue with the squad, but still an issue we can overcome. We'll definitely have to sign some youngsters as Maeda and Woodburn top scorers. Dan Gore was also up there, as we've been up there in the league, 5th in the table, which is of course a playoff spot. As I've got to say, the championship doesn't look as strong. I don't mean to be offensive to any of the teams, but when Hull City's getting promoted, you know, there is a little issue here. And they took 10 defeats. They released Charlie Hughes, which turned out a good decision, as they went on to get promoted, and we lost to the team we beat last year to get promoted ourselves, as Norwich City win the Carabao Cup. Man United won the FA Cup, I believe, as we lost to Wrexham. On penalties, as here we go, you can see the playoff finals. Sheffield United, we squeezed through 2-0, and Southampton hammered Everton. Not a result you expect, but will we be in the Premier League? We will! We have done it! A first season promotion to the Prem. Unbelievable, especially with the old signings we've just made. As yes, our focus for the Premier League is definitely de-aging our squad. We've got Knox, who could go in goal, but I do want to find a better goalkeeper. And we do have Nico O'Reilly, who we've got to try and fit in this team. And I can't actually believe it. I forgot to put the Christmas lights on. But what I can't believe more is this team's in the Premier League. Don't get me wrong, I am delighted. I think we've got a lot of youth here, but we are not going to survive unless we make some improvements. Like I said, we've got to get O'Reilly in here, but our backup striker's Bonfiglio, and apart from him on the bench, we have no other attackers. We're extremely behind the curve, and the class of 92 can't let this happen, as £27 million, that is enough to invest into some contracts, as now we should have a bigger market with a lot better players available, including some Mexicans. As now we're allowed to sign some, let's go ahead and check the market. They usually have the best free agents, but looking at the three, Mark Suarez looks okay. He's better than what we currently have, but Trejo and Vega, they are both left players, which we don't need. So now I'm just going to the broad market for something. Is there literally anything? Are we scrolling here for days? I mean, let's take another look at what we need. We know we need some strikers and some young players, especially in goal and CDM. As I've got a CDM right here, guys, and this one is brilliant. Toby Collier, an ex-Man United youngster. Now, I don't know if he's direct from United because we've been in the lower leagues, but this man's a very good signing and can be a rotational player. Sure, not first choice, but at least that's Daniel Amati covered, as let's just not stall anymore. Let's go and look for attackers, as I think the best country for these Of course it's got to be Brazil. The likes of Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, if we could find one like that. As we don't, but again, we've just found a DM. Bruno Pereira, who I've gone ahead and put on the short list. And then I also found this guy, Kjau Tavares. Gonna have to take him on, and sure, he's not a striker, he has a high wage, but I'll chance training him as one, 136 weeks it takes. As I might chance this guy also, Pereira, as a centre-back. 2 weeks till he's ready, but do we really need another one? As will this guy actually benefit the team as a centre-mid? I don't know, maybe we change shape as Tavares is going to be on the left-hand side for the time being, as now for some experience players. The first one being this man. Yes, I was searching for Kyle Walker, but he's unfortunately retired, but there is Kyle Walker-Peters. So not an ex-City player like Kyle Walker would have been, but still an improvement in the Premier League with tons and tons of experience. Leaving now only a keeper, and I've already seen an experienced one. This man, he's 37, but I believe he could be good for us. Kevin Trapp, the final signing of Salford's first Prem season. Pardon the pun, but I think I trapped us a little bit with our potential, because now he's down to 77. Still, it was better than Dan Bentley. On the bench, who's gone to a 69, our Tavares is a 79, but still doesn't fit in the team, as this is what it looks like on paper. Midfield better than attack, which is bizarre, and this is bizarre. Kjau Tavares is still not trained as a striker. He's going to take ages, I absolutely know it, as our best player still Maeda. At 31, I did not expect him to hit an 84 overall. We've got a few 80s, and then again, Maeda was the top scorer at the club, with Woodburn behind him and Dan Gore behind him. That's one ex-Manchester based player I believe we'll take to the finale, as I saw Morley doing well. Oh my days, we just survived. I mean, 8 points clear, but still it's very tight for Salford City, but we remain in the Prem. 12 wins is quite a lot. We just didn't draw too many games, as Chelsea won the FA Cup. We were out to Chelsea as well in the round of 32. Then Wolverhampton win the Carabao, 2 final defeats for City, and we were out to Watford, a team in the league below. Not the best of sights to see, and of course we didn't spend all the money. We haven't paid for a player yet. £8 million, and I say yet, we can't do it at all, as what do we do with this team now? I believe it does have some potential, but it just needs to be unlocked further. Yeah, just surviving last season has me rethinking everything, as this is the shape I'm going with. You can see it with the ball. Very narrow, how I like it. We've got false backs coming into midfield, because that's actually where we're strongest. Full back, not wingers. As you can see, a lot of players out of position for this first season, but I believe it will change. Tavares is going to be trained as a cam to support Maeda now. Morley as a midfielder, a CDM in fact, and also Grant to CDM, but I do have him at left mid. And that's because Ben Woodburn, I believe his time is coming to an end. He could potentially reach an 80 rated and stick himself to the bench, but we do have Benarus running out of potential, and I don't like it. And then Nico O'Reilly, who I'm going to change back to a cam. Position change galore going on, as yes, he's going to be trained there. Morley to a DM, that takes 83 weeks though. And Grant to a DM takes 322. It takes less for him to actually go and be a left midfielder. So I will train him as that, as Tavares is going to take a while. But I believe in him. It's just his passing he's got to get better. And we need to get our attackers better. We're looking for a striker. Maeda getting older and our budget getting weaker. Telling me we need some regens. I'm going to look fairly young, but they still need to be of use. Julian Arnold, for example. He's going to go onto the shortlist, but as I look for a decent rating, oh my days, Dennis Muller. Now he's a left back, not needed, but definitely going to be signed. You can never have enough wonder kids. That's why Julian Arnold is also being signed up. The only issue we have now is I could not find a good left midfielder, but I do find a good right in Izaka Kamate. Left-footed, should switch across, and I think it's a good shrewd signing. But when you pop him into the team, he still doesn't really stand out. I feel it was an awkward one. We need someone just better than him, older or younger, just someone who can play on the left. And this is where this man comes into the equation. I'm glad I found him. Looking at England free agents, we have Jack Grealish. Yes, a real-life Manchester City player again, like Nico O'Reilly, coming to help Gary Neville, Nicky Butt, Ryan Giggs out. Bizarre when you really think about it, but here we finally have the striker that we needed, Sekou Mara. And it seems to me I did make a mistake with this team, which is looking pretty goddamn good. Tavares, Pereira, Muller, essentially our regens just doing brilliantly, our wingers, our centre-backs, and our goal scorer, Maeda, an 87? At 32 he's amazing, but I did forget about Kevin Trapp, and it has played this man on the bench, Knox, who's done decent. 74 down here, I mean Grant's up to an 84, Grealish 282s, and Ben Woodburn 84. Everybody but our backup defenders have been brilliant. Let's look at these ratings for season number 2. Delightful. And now I understand Maeda. Look how many goals the top scorer scored. 23 himself, and then Woodburn did get 9. And yes, most players change their positions, like Grealish, like Woodburn. The only player really refusing is Grant, but he got game time. Going to try and make him a cam in this team. Of course, we've got Tavares, and we have got too many cams, but at least it only takes 6 weeks. We need someone for that position as wise. Okay. What's happened to career mode? First in the Premier League is absolutely phenomenal, and 81 points. That's a decent margin, you know. We've gone and won the Premier League title. We're not in the final of the FA Cup. That's Man City and Liverpool. We were out in round 5 to Derby County of all teams. In our second season in the Premier League, the Carabao's won by Liverpool, who narrowly just beat us in the semis of the Carabao and Pens. But honestly, I don't care. I can't believe it. We're going into this competition, the Champions League next year, which has an El Clasico finale. Unreal, but where do we go from here? Because there's got to be a lot of improvements. I see KWP is going down, and to be fair, he's 33-year-old. Bentley's been put in the sticks as well. He's 36, and Knox is 23, so he's not very young. We've got to look for a goalkeeper to make sure we don't finish bottom spot. We've got the Community Shield. I can't believe it. At £61 million. That is glorious. As what do we do now, though? Do we go for some decent players? Or do we go for more youngsters like Bruno, like Kiao, who did take time to grow? That's the only problem, and also a problem. The players Manchester-based. We have Morley, we have Dan Gore, we do have Jack Grealish, but I don't think he'll last to the finale. And also O'Reilly, another player we could potentially use. Got to up his potential, as first, you know what I'm doing. I'm going for defenders, and I actually am going to put it on youth players. Looking through all these players, come on, there's got to be a decent rating somewhere. Oh my days, there is. Daniel Nunez. He's one going straight onto the shortlist. I'm going to hold off actually getting him for now. Going to look for a right back, then going to look for more players. As no good ones as youngsters, and to be fair, no good right backs at all. The best other defender I could find is Gabriel Osho. To being sold by Luton Town to come into Premier League winning Salford City. It isn't the perfect career path, but still, he's got Champions League football. Sensationally so as well, as you didn't think I was leaving Nunez. Of course he comes by. I hope he's not related to Darwin, because we need him to defend, not miss chances, as when I change the bench around, that's what we're looking at, and to be fair, that's Champions League worthy, I'd say, but now we need a striker. Come on, Maeda. Maybe 2 more years in him, maybe could see us lift the UCL title? Wouldn't count on it, but I have found a gold mine. First, as another midfielder, there is KDH on this list, who we could go for, but no, there's also Lewis Dobbin, a backup striker. But again, I'm saying no, I do not need this man in my winning team. Premier League winning team, as there's 2 players I've got in mind. The first one, Alex Matos, who I believe was released from Chelsea. And another player kicked out of Chelsea to go to Manchester United and has been released by them. Money Mason Mount. I'll prioritise Prioritise him because we do need the ex-United player. And voila, straight after it, we go ahead and get Alex Matos. The only issue now is the goalkeeper position in the squad. And I have found a new keeper. Yes, he's good, but is he UCL good? Welcome in Yildiz. We'll try and get some potential out of him, but he's under 80 rated. I was kind of hoping for someone else. I want to put my faith in the first teamers and probably the first teamers only. Pereira's doing very well. Tavares, not so well, but when I look at the bench, Grant has took his place, surely. 88 rated, and also you might be talking about him, Kyle Walker-Peters, now 78 at 34. But not to worry, because on the bench we have Nunes, but a bigger surprise, Novak we can put in the team, and that looks a lot better. Don't think I've stopped training players, as there he is to a right back. Hopefully working for us, because of course it does say he's a left footer. Mason Mount, we've got to get the best out of him. He's gone up a rating to a cam. And also Aaron Morley, he stays the same as a CDM. Matos didn't get played, but he goes up as a defensive midfielder. And now for Lewis Grant. He goes to an 89. Took us time with this man, but we've trusted him from season 1. He was our first signing, and now he's almost 90 rated. Brilliant, as I trust these players in the Champions League, maybe not to win it. Maeda stayed the same, and we couldn't find that extra striker. But it doesn't matter, 22 goals, Gore with 11, Matos with 10. Maybe he stays in the team. Maybe we've got a good enough team to go for that UCL, as we don't retain our title, but I'll take another 4th place finish. That is brilliant for Salford City. We didn't win the Community Shield, but let's talk about the league a little bit more, shall we? Just one season ago, we were 17. Before winning the title, as congratulations Nottingham Forest, we were out to Man City in round 4 of the FA Cup. And the Carabao Forest again make the finale, but lose to Leicester, as we lost to Forest, this time in the semis. Not a nice feeling, and this isn't nice viewing. Still, Inter around us, Paris, Dortmund, but we finished 17th. Making for a playoff game, and in our first season in the Champions League, we crash out straight away to Roma. God damn it. Back to the drawing board, but still, I'm very happy with the team and happy with our shredding, because we've took the numbers in the team down, hopefully leading to a happier squad. As also, if you're struggling on career mode, do us a favor and just go ahead and steal this tactic. Even if you've not enjoyed the video, please just take the tactic away with you, as £80 million, could that win us the UCL? As long as we stick to the shape, I don't mind it, as Maeda. Now he's at an 86. Could we make some big changes? I was going to say go to a centre forward just to avoid having a striker, but there isn't such thing as centre forwards. I haven't done my FIFA research. Haven't done much research judging by my latest Ruud van Nistelrooy vid, confusing PSV for Feyenoord, but on that, I was preparing something new. More to come on that later. If you reached this point in the video, congratulations. You got that little sneak peek, as we might get Junior Adamu. The only issue is he's 30. Is he actually better than Sekou Mara? Our bench striker, no, so maybe we tick him off the list. In fact, we definitely will be doing, because look at this man we've found. Sang Hun Jin, who of course is the Son regen. A brilliant signing. This is our present and future, because he may actually make the bench, and then he should be good in seasons to come. Very happy with that, but in fact, yes, we could fit him on here. It does mean less defenders, but that bench is very strong. As you know what I don't think is strong, and I'm just going to keep on saying it. I don't like a keeper. Yildiz, 22, 81 rated. I had the feeling in my brain there was something better out there. And how is this man without a club? David Raya, 35-year-old? Maybe the age is an issue for some clubs, but it's definitely not for us. I mean, he's better than what we currently have and Champions League worthy. A sensational capture, as I'm going to just change a few players around, including Nunes and Matos, and I think that's the team completed. And this, you've got to hand it to me, come on, is a stunner of a lineup. We've got Pereira 91 rated, Kaiki 89, Dangor 89, Lewis Grant 89, and he started at the club right here. Season number 1, as you can see, a lot are the regens. Mason Mount, I don't know what it is, but I just love using him. Got the best out of him in the Ipswich Town save we did on the channel. As goal scoring wise, well, it's still gonna be Maeda. 27 goals, Mason Mount 10 goals and 14 assists. The man goes mental. With contributions as Grant, he's kind of just played a little bit. Game time going to Mason over Tavares over other players. Unbelievable, as in the league, it's kind of believable now. We're getting used to UCL finishers. Wolves in there and City 8th. Man United nowhere to be seen, probably Gary Neville caring more about us. As in Salford, as we lost in the FA Cup semi-finals. Also lost on penalties in round 3 of the Carabao Cup, which eventually went to Luton. Spurs go and bottle it. Sensationally so, as I don't like that finish again. We should be better than 14th, but loads of big teams beneath us. So I believe it will be a playoff round, and this time it is different. Very different, in fact. We hammered Paris Saint-Germain. With the goal scorers we have, I mean, Club Brugge was a harder game. Then Bayer Leverkusen a comeback, 4-0 in the home leg, as then we beat Barcelona after a 0-0 draw, a 3-1 win, to break up the El Clasico, making it Salford versus Real. Sensational, and again, I'm going to repeat this for the second time. If you don't pick this tactic, the code is there on screen, you're missing out big time, but we have to make some changes here. After all, the rules was 3 Manchester-based players, and at the moment, Dangor is literally the only one in the starting 11, but we do have the players here. Mason Mount is one of them, as Grant, one of our best players, has to step out the starting 11, and Morley steps in with no sharpness because he's from Bolton. Makes me a little nervous, as I do like these kits, you know. A little bit clashing, but not too much, as Novak touched that too far, son. Madrid will not be an easy game, as Pereira, one of the best CDMs, like prime Casemiro. Not this Manchester United one. Referee, that is a foul. Thank you. We're going to play decently here. Passing it short into Kaiki. I wanted a shooter as Gore, if he could, try and find the angle. Dan Gore! An eventful first few minutes. Camavinga blocked by Darwin Núñez. Or not Darwin, but Núñez. And Kante to run away with it. He needs to get that in the middle. Look, Mount, you've got a man at the side here. Dan Gore, your ex-teammate at Manchester United. Tackled by Jacobo, who we all know is a brilliant player from a later save we did, as that is a cross. We needed a striker there. As yes, I am trusting the 34-year-old Maeda to captain the team and hopefully be our scorer. That is a ball towards him. Just needs a few more inches, and then he would have headed that one goal-bound. As Mount with an in-swinger looking for Kante. Almost, you know, almost, as Kante winning the ball back. He's a very underrated player. Just because he hasn't got an in-game face, I've kind of forgot about him. As Dangor, here he goes. If he could drill that low, I think that'll be the last move. Yeah, nothing from the corner. Come on, we're still on the lookout for this goal. Do not pass it. And that's Harry Ammies. Harry Ammies marking Dangor. Man United Academy's gone worldwide to the UCL final, as Mason Mount, not an academy player, but still a very good one. He's getting away from his man here. If he crosses it, it's Maeda. Bottom corner against Madrid. We are 1-0 up. And what a signing this man was. I didn't expect to have him this long. We had to change him from a left wing. But Maeda with the run. And look at the precision. I know his yard's out, but still, that was side netting. Brilliant from the captain. Hopefully lifts the trophy. Sensational stuff. His 5th goal in 17 in the UCL as Muller. That is good from one of our fullbacks. They are both regens, and he's going to keep on running. I'm going to try and look at the backstick. The man in the middle ignores, leaving it for goal. 2-0 to the good now. A Man United youngster, and that is what we needed. With our objectives, with everything going on in this save, that'll please the class of 92. The owners of the club having a Manchester United youngster scoring for Salford. Nice one. Can we add more? Real Madrid have just dropped off in the second half. That was actually quite good in the first. As referee, that's a foul. And I say that, and then Vini Jr. runs away with the ball. I wish he was released. I would have loved to have him this save. He's still got the pace in him, despite being quite an old man. But he's definitely not got the crossing ability. Aging is what I'll describe him as, because that really showed in his legs as Maeda. If he could pass it, maybe he could, maybe he couldn't. He waits too long, but still, The whistle should end the game soon. And it does, with a failed cross towards David Raya's box. And Salford City, the miniature Red Devils, have gone all the way from League 2 without a signing to win the Champions League. Gary Neville and the likes, I hope I've done you proud here. I still hope Grimsby Town, smash Salford in the league. Sorry to any Salford supporters if you're out there, as if you did enjoy this video, like for more of these, and click my hands for more rebuilds.